Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing a quick, plan with me, meal planning. So this is a look at my blinder. This is just kind of something I threw together. I've got my calendars here, blank calendars. I've got a couple of little scratch pieces of paper that I've written things on. And then I have all of my previous meal planning calendars or whatever that I just keep stored in here. And it doesn't have them all, but it has most of them. And I use this to reference meal ideas and if I'm just can't think of anything. So on the back here, I just have our meal plan from January and February. And I just X off the meals once we have them because I don't really follow a set schedule. We kind of move our meals around and it just helps it keep it all together right there. So next, I just have a little list of things that I have took inventory of. I've got my calendar that I'm going to pull out and just keep an idea of what I've got going on so I can mark my days off. And just, like I said, just a little quick list of the things that I've got that I know I want to use and make sure that we use up during this month. So I'm just going to make a quick list and jot some other things down that keep popping in my head, and I kind of add to this as I go. I'm not in my kitchen right now, so I can't really go and look, but I'm just kind of going off what I know that's in there that I need to use that I've kind of had in my head. Okay, now I'm going to just pull out my binder. I'm going to grab that empty calendar and start filling in the dates for this coming month. I'm going to get my list out so I know some of the meal ideas that I've had. Just different things that I've been craving and we haven't had in a while. And then just some things that I know we've been out of on a shopping list. So we've already had a couple of these, so I'm going to go ahead and mark them off. That way I am not putting them down as well. So we'll scratch those off. Okay, and now I'm just going to go into dating my calendar and kind of looking at my planner and seeing what we've got going on and see where I kind of want to start our day. I'm going to go with like 2 to 3 weeks on this one as opposed to going monthly. And just because we haven't meal planned in such a few months. And just budget wise, this is what I've got to work with right now. So I'm just going to go until about mid-July. And I'm also going to go ahead and write in some of the meals that we've already had the past couple days. That way I can just have a visual and look back on the things that we've already had. So I'm not adding them in like right on top, just in case we start to want something else again. That way I know they're spaced out. And then I'm just going to start filling in our meals. I'm going to start with my list that I've already made, get those on there, and then I'll go to my binder and I'll start looking through my recipes and seeing what else I can plug in. So I don't try to really space it out. I try to kind of put things the days that I know my husband has class or we're going to be somewhere. I try to put something those days that I know that we'll more than likely have, but like I said, we can always move stuff around as long as I have time to lay it out and thaw it out or put it in the crock pot or whatever I need to do. It's good to go for that day. So I'm not particular. I just kind of write things down wherever I can get them. So right here, I'm just putting in my dates. I know that's 4th of July. We're going to be out. We'll eat out, or we'll eat actually at a cookout. And we've got a couple other dates that we've got plans for the evening that I'm just going to jot down, and I'll put a star beside the days that my husband has class. That way I don't have to worry about keeping track of that. It's all right here where I can easily see it. Okay, so some of these down towards the bottom, I just put things that we had already had like earlier this week, and just put them down at the bottom. That way I know towards the end of the month we can start adding some of those things back in and get it like sorted out there. So that's it for my meal plan. I'm going to go making my shopping list now. And I'm just going to tape my meal plan up to my computer because I don't have like anything to put it on. I want it right in front of me where I can see it, not to my side. So I'm just going to tape it really quick. I've got my notebook paper. I'm going to start making my list. Okay, so I just put meat, veggies, produce, frozen, and canned and boxed. That's usually how I just sort it into those 4 categories. I kind of put in like dairy as well. I think I write that here in a minute. But just to kind of keep it categorized where it's at in the store. So that just kind of helps me. I could get a little fancier, but really there's no need in it. So right now I'm just counting the amount of chicken that I need on my calendar in front of me. And we are fortunate enough to raise our own beef, so we do not have to purchase any beef that we use. And we have a couple of hams in our freezer, and we have got some fish. So we recently went to the beach, and my husband's been crappie fishing, and we've got a lot of fish in our freezer, so I don't have to buy a whole lot of meat. So I've just got some breakfast stuff, some pizza stuff, sandwich stuff, and then my chicken. So, and we were actually raising our meat chickens, and something got in there and killed all of them. We had about 30. And yeah, so that was a tough time a couple weeks ago. We were really planning on having that the rest of the year, but life happens, and that's kind of what happens when you have a farm. So I'm just kind of going through my mind, looking at my list. I go through each meal and kind of write down what I know I need for that meal. That's usually what works best for me, aside from like meat. I'll do my meat first and kind of get it out of the way. And also we do other things that's not on the meal plan. I do a lot of fruit and veggies for lunch. And so I just put those on there, whatever I need to get, whatever's on sale. I'm not particular about those. I just kind of grab whatever I can get a good deal on. So that's usually how that works. You'll see me add tally marks to a lot of things. So like for instance, cheese or rice, things that I know I'm going to be using over and over again. I kind of just put a tally mark as a mental reminder how much I need. Some meals we don't use as much as others. So I just kind of go off of that. I know that I need a big bag of mozzarella and just a couple bags of other shredded cheese. So I just kind of go off of that. I just use tally marks beside of it unless there's like a specific number of something that I need. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much done. I've added some of the things that I knew we were out of, and I'm just going to look on Pinterest for some snack ideas. Not necessarily anything that I usually buy or try to make, but just in case something pops up. Being pregnant, I am very picky and I like very specific things, and I'm trying to eat healthy, trying to get the kids to eat healthy. I don't buy chips and stuff typically for my kids to munch on throughout the day. We usually stick to fruit, string cheese, that kind of thing. So I love to use Pinterest just to get some ideas to spark in my head. So I'm actually just going to jot down some little ideas of things just as mental reminders, not necessarily as things I need to shop for, but just as mental reminders like, hey, you can have this, and don't forget about this, don't forget about bananas and peanut butter, things that I love that we often seem to forget, and they just kind of get buried and forgot about. Okay guys, so that was it for my meal planning process. I hope it helped you out some. I kind of filmed it a little differently than I have a lot of my other stuff. But I do want to emphasize how important it has been to our family to save money and stay on track with some kind of plan. Whether you do a week, a few days, whatever works for you. We did a little bit more than 2 weeks now. I did like a 3-week kind of type meal plan. But you can do whatever works for you and your family. So I have done an entire month in the past, and I've done just a week at a time. So it just depends on how your schedule is, what you've got going on, what your meals are. If you want a lot of fruit and vegetables that are fresh, you may want to go every week and just do those and get that done. That way you're not ruining your food. So I'm heading out with my shopping list to go and finish for these 3 weeks what I need to get. And I hope that if you have not subscribed, that you click subscribe. I've got a lot of new videos coming up. I've got a whole weekend planned for filming. I'm hoping that my husband's been taking some classes, so he's wrapping those up, and I'm hoping I can get some filming done and some time for my blog, because I've kind of neglected it the past month or so, just because we've been on vacation and a lot going on. So, if you are a subscriber, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for coming back and watching this video. I hope you all have a great day.